In my
case,
Yeah, we can go to a
breakfast tomorrow.
call
They
to
probably
order.
have a source
All those
for it.
cabinetry.
You're
We're
right?
good, yeah.
So we'll call the meeting to order.
Okay.
We'll start with the reading and approval of the minutes for our May 15th, 2025.
Hello?
meeting. Motion
Anyone
to
hear me?
accept.
No.
I'll make the motion.
Those in favor?
I'll second.
Finance report?
I'll make a motion to accept the check detail as presented.
Those in favor?
Aye.
And I will make a motion to accept the cash flow as presented.
Favor?
Aye.
Okay, so I'm bringing up the Civic Serve proposal again. I did talk to two other IDAs who are just starting to use it. They felt that the process was smooth, getting all the data into the database, but they can't really give me a recommendation yet because they've just started using it. They've also started with
I'll
Livingston
I'll just listen in.
IDA, so same
That's
thing,
him.
so.
So
Don't worry
April,
about
did they merge over the data for you, or
Yes.
what
So if you
and
look
did
in the
you have to do?
proposal, I just all the data that I have, like in separate reports, the Excel, the publisher, I just sent it to them.
Okay,
There is a line item in the proposal for 7,500, which they're waiving. So that's the heavy lifting of getting everything over. Of course, I'm gonna have to like go through each project, make sure everything's updated in there.
but it's not something that's gonna eat up a lot of your
No,
time.
not at all, that's why I'm interested in this, because I don't have to recreate a wheel or
Right.
weed out anything. This is really directed at IDAs and EDCs. I did do some research down, I had sent over some AI information. This one just happens to be marketed, packaged, and sold to IDAs and EDCs, so it's like a really targeted focus
Custom.
thing, yep. And you know, I always say this, if I get hit by a bus, right now,
Yeah.
somebody comes in, they have to look at my, like, I have a binder of like how I do each thing, you know, like
Mhm.
from application to end, or public notices, how to run a board meeting.
Right,
So this would be, and I can get board members login too, so you could just log in and everything's centralized. So yes, I keep paper copies of all the permits for the park, but I could have park data in there, all the permits. Hi, Paul.
Can you let me in?
Oh, okay.
Just primarily a software package.
Yeah. Is the management discount annual? I mean, so there is a management discount on the pricing. Come to an annual subscription price. Is that an annual?
He told me it'd be 14,000 annual. So after the first year, if we're not happy with it, we just don't renew it.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you.
You don't want
Right.
any.
No,
Even pad.
we needed you on the phone to hear you.
Just a lease.
Can you hear me on the Zoom?
Yeah, call me back, Paul.
Yeah. Our shop, the software call.
What do you think the most important valuable part of this is, April?
A centralized location for everything, so that if somebody came in my place, they could just log in and every project that's current, and it archives all our old projects, so I won't go back and put in, you know, like our.
Yeah, so it's an institutional memory.
Right.
Theoretically, it should be also available for auditors if they're coming into audit
Yes.
projects, et cetera.
Yeah.
So we rather,
If instead of looking at the spreadsheet,
Right.
so the key data spreadsheet that I do that has like, you know, the mortgage tax exemption from 20 years ago, all the way to the end, is in a spreadsheet with different tabs for, you know, so but this would be like, you just click on the thing, you don't have to try to remember like the hospital that we did back before 2000, it would be archived in there and you can look back at it. As Renee and Paul's my institutional knowledge and historic knowledge on certain projects, but I do keep paper copies. I'm gonna be updating my shed and cleaning out some of that, but I have audits all the way back to like the 70s that Willis Vermillion gave me. So, but it's all paper. I know it's there.
well, yeah, but I would also say, I mean, we're a quasi-government agency. There are record retention rules. I don't know that
Correct.
anybody should have audits back to the 70s. I mean, a
No,
record.
they told me I'm supposed to keep everything.
Everything.
I'll
No,
pull it
that's-
up again, but
Who's they?
the ABO.
Yeah, I don't think you're.
I'll double check it.
Double check the government record retention, that's like keeping your tax returns, et cetera. I mean, there are real rules and processes, there's,
Yeah. 7 years is bad enough.
right, I mean, I don't get if it's 10 years, I do not see any reason why anybody would be keeping audits from the 70s and 80s. That's bad record retention policy, that's,
Okay.
yeah.
I have no problem.
Don't underestimate
recycling.
Kansas
I don't know if
State on
That's,
that.
yeah.
Just, it's all scanned.
Well, I have all juvenile files too,
Yeah,
so
so like, is there a
Audrey from
problem
Baltimore.
just for the hell of it, in case, you know?
Well, there isn't, but I would say that, for those of us who go through record retention, I mean, there are definitely government rules
Yeah.
with different government, standards and a variety of those things, but, the question is there a problem with it? Ultimately, there's a little cost, for whatever
Yeah,
you're saving, but
yeah.
that's also how things can get grabbed and stolen, and then we don't have identity problems, but there's a reason why there's record retention policies.
Sure.
Other than being a hoarder, you're not supposed to, so anyway.
I admit it.
Does Renee, has Renee looked at it? Does he have any thoughts? Have you shared that with him?
I showed him the original scope,
Uh-huh.
and everything's covered that we are responsible for reporting and things like that, so.
Well, you're looking for a vote, so I'll
I
put a
am.
motion on the table to enter into a 1-year, whatever, acquisition of the software.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Okay. So moving on to our projects and pilot. So Greenland Trust.
Okay, Greene.
Greenland Trust has submitted their annual stewardship fund report.
Yes,
I have read it. It is part of our like agreement with them, so we have that 30-year contract. We have about 12 years left. So we submit a $30,000 stewardship payment for the maintenance of all of our forever wildlands. So that's all the land that goes around business parks. We also have about 30 acres, Four Corners. They maintain that. So it's just cleaning up the wetlands. There's nice walking paths. So if you go down the Hoteling Road in Colford, they have the Coxsackie Creek Preserve. They've been maintaining these walking trails, which I've been on, which I love. We're also adding just a directional sign as part of our Colford sign, just, for the public to go.
Does anybody use them, do you know?
Well, that's the thing, we're trying to do more signage so that people are aware that there's these walking paths down there instead of like little yard signs. We're putting up nicer signs.
Do we need to accept this report, or you're just putting it in there for our
For
information?
your information,
Okay.
it's just something that I get quarterly reports, when they do the, operation and maintenance billing. So they, have to do permitting and reports to the state to make sure that the wetlands are still, viable wetlands. We had a meeting with the Greenland Trust, people, and they got all excited about different, species that have not been seen. So we're maintaining those, open wetlands and, habitat land. So that was what we bought the 100-acre parcel for. And that will be future banking, and then that will get turned over to the land trust as well.
What kind of liability do we have with these walking paths? Is that-
Nothing on the Green Land Trust land, that's all theirs.
Okay.
Now, we are gonna be trying to work with, so you know how we did the pilots for tourism, the tourism building, we did like a bill back with any tourism pilot project we did. So like, Aaron's project donated
No, I think you're misunderstanding. Is it enter at your own risk? If someone has a problem back there?
That's Greenland Trust, they have insurance on that property. We have insurance on our vacant land
Okay,
and parks.
yeah.
And, then the companies
Okay.
have their own
All right,
insurance.
we have insurance.
But we will be partnering with Greenland Trust on creating additional walking paths because we have the Anderson parcel. We've always thought of that as a spearhead, but
And then
enter the
dawn,
park
like
there.
dawn to dusk, you gotta.
Right, so there'll be, restrictions on parking signs and things like that, and we're hoping to be able to fundraise for a bridge over Coxsackie Creek so that they can enter from Mansion
Yeah.
Street and then to the walking trails behind there. That's it. I don't know.
Right, well, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
he's
Are we
wondering the same
finally-
thing.
Four-wheelers would be happy about that.
Yeah, Rich, yeah,
Yeah.
must go pretty great.
There is some encroachment before the IDA took the land, there's some sheds on either side, so we'll have to do some, boundary line adjustments and, adjust. Which will probably turn over to the land trust or work with the village on the parking area. So that's the annual report update on Greene Land Trust. Flintline Solar, Paul and I have been speaking with the key rep people, and Paul's been reaching out to their attorney because we would like to close now that all the legal impediments are gone. I spoke to Susan, who is the replacement for Patrick, and she works with Desiree. So her update includes, and I think I put this out to the board, but I can, they're soliciting different construction bids, so they're getting ready to do that. They also have to update their power purchase agreement with NYSERDA. So the power purchase agreement expired during this year, and it's gonna open it back up in the third quarter. So they're requesting that we could wait until the fourth quarter, so that they had to have all the permits lined up if we could close in the fourth quarter. But that would be something that's up to the board. I've been pushing them.
Paul, what do you think about that?
Well, Paul,
Hello?
you have to call back in. We can't hear you on the computer. Paul would like them to close. So this is gonna trigger another conversation that I have, that Paul. Okay. Are you there, Paul?
Yep.
Okay, so this is the Flintline Solar update.
Yeah, I've been listening.
Okay, so I would like to push it to the fourth quarter just because of some engineering and construction things that they're still working on. And they're going through New York State DOT and the Army Corps permit.
Mhm.
But it's not like they're walking away from this project. They're gonna need our benefits. Yes, we are out that closing fee and there's a couple other closing costs. And they only contributed to legal so far.
Then that'll all get pushed to the fourth quarter.
This fourth quarter,
Right.
yes, of this
Okay.
year. So we're halfway through the year. I've been getting standard updates from
Yeah.
them. I feel comfortable about it. I know-
Will they send us something in writing that they are committed to closing in the fourth quarter? Will they?
Paul, I think we can get that from their attorney. Do you think?
Oh, I think we just say that because it's late till February.
Of 2025, that the benefits may be revoked at the option of the board.
Right, that's what I was saying, as long as the exchange of paperwork here that says this is the end, right? You said you're gonna do it, so if it doesn't happen by then.
And Paul, I'd say by whatever our December meeting date is, I wouldn't push it to the 31st.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Good idea.
Yeah, okay, I'll draft that. I mean,
I don't understand why they need to wait, but, I mean, look, we got jerked around by the plaintiffs in their Sleepy Hollow. I told them that to go ahead and get started building. I know the county wants their money for their easement. So, and then the sooner that this thing gets operational, because it's gonna take a year, the sooner that the local communities get the pilot agreements.
So they have 1,600 acres, and this,
Do they have the equipment? Is it in and off the ship?
Yeah.
It's just, did it triple in price?
Well, and probably that purchase power agreement's the key. If they don't have that or it's not favorable, then they're probably closed.
so my notes are or on our closing date for the December meeting. Which this then loops into, I can update our fee schedule policy application to include language saying that companies must close, or they put down like a 10% part of their closing so that they're vested.
On a date to be agreed to.
Right, so I can change that for the
Yeah,
next meeting, I'll give you some
Yeah.
update language on this, so because, the finding statement also that we've done, we put a bunch of work into different things, with the public hearings, things like that. the data that we did the research in for the finding statement, it gets old, you know what I mean?
Right.
So we'd like to close closer to when we do the finding statements. So I talked to Renee about it. We think that maybe 10% deposit if they would like us to pass the resolutions, because then the companies take the resolutions and go get the funding from banks and things like that.
How much time is the delay actually due to the company as opposed to?
Well, they have a lot of money in, and then when they close, they're gonna have to pay our fee. And
Right.
The delay is due to the litigation.
That's what I'm wondering, how much of it is within their control?
I don't think so. I think the delay was really, it was caused by the litigation, but they don't have all of their permits.
Okay.
It's kind of both pieces, Maggie. You know, they should not have allowed Sleepy Hollow to give them a de facto stay. That was a mistake. But regardless of that, you know, that they don't have all of their permits. So you know, they can close with us. It just, you know, they got to get everything lined up. I don't, you know, they just got to get moving, you know, because it's a project that we want in this community.
So they've also offered to come in at our August meeting, update the board, I mean, but I have it by email, so.
Yeah. Probably not necessary.
Yeah, no, we don't need to hear about their delays.
Yeah.
We need to hear about their action statements, not their.
Yeah, and that they're committed to the.
We don't need a history, right?
So
All of
draws up that letter,
Yep.
did they get a commitment? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. That's what mine said, right?
Catskill infrastructure transfer, so similar to how we transferred the water sewer infrastructure to Caro, Paul just brought a resolution and a, bill of sale for the Gateway Drive, the infrastructure that we subbed out to the hotel, is turned over to the village, so that they own the pipes and infrastructure.
So
it's similar. Go ahead.
I think you have to move for us to transfer the infrastructure to the town of Catskill.
Okay.
Motion.
So moved. Second, all those in favor?
Right. Is it the town or the village?
I think it's the town out there because it's in the town.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up is Bailey Battery Storage. So this is the acreage behind the hall. On Bailey. I've been working with Renee on getting the wetland report and study done. There are no wetlands. It's been maintained, plowed. And we've also done archaeology and impact
That letter yourself.
of substance. So now, Renee can draft up the letter to DEC and Army Corps to get the next permit done. We've had a option with BayWa and we've submitted it with the archaeology of the standard layout. So Champlain Hudson is pretty much done. There's an easement that runs along the railroad, and then hopefully maybe next summer we'll get going on building and construction for the battery storage.
Could that have any impact on energy rates around here? I don't know if that's a naive question or not, but.
I don't think so, because
No.
it's storage and then it goes back out, but it's based on whatever the ISO rates are.
Okay, all right.
Storage isn't gonna really.
It's not directly feeding anybody local.
Yeah.
Right. I just know I'm hearing more about the data centers.
Oh, yeah.
We've been talking about.
Yeah, we'll talk
Yeah,
about
so
that.
We could talk about that
that's
too, but I can also say the market for battery storage has dramatically changed from when we first even started talking about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So it's
a
nice
lot
to
of
have
foot off the gas on that.
Yeah, so
Okay,
we
We
have
have
that
that
option.
option related to that, so.
That'll continue. And then number 5 is the comprehensive, Cooksocket Comprehensive Plan kickoff meeting scheduled for June 23rd. So I will meet with Mark and Rick Hance from the village and the town, start our scope. We'll probably end up hiring Delaware Engineering, but from there, then we'll set up the public meetings for people of the public and our stakeholders. So June 23rd is just me, Rick Hance, and Mark Evans. and then we'll start setting up. No, you don't need to be there.
And when you say we, this is really their plan. I mean,
It
we're
is.
investing,
So
so
we're
they're
investing.
going to hire who they're going to hire, and they're,
So I'm just along for the ride, but, in the past, Renee has helped write, certain aspects
of
the documents.
We're there for advice and answer the money.
Right, so the IDA has some ideas of what we would like to see, turned over to more commercial or industrial. So the IDA reps will.
and do you have a list of anybody else in the county having just sat through the 4-hour mandatory training? For planning, zoning, and the county was there, so who else in the county has comprehensive plans underway? Which other communities?
I'm not sure yet, I missed that meeting by accident, so I will be stepping up to do other training, but I can find out from.
Find out, because, if any other community is comprehensive planning, our interest is, remains the same.
Squeaky wheel on the housing, that will be brought up during the comprehensive plan. That's
Yes.
gonna be a discussion.
It will be part of it,
Consider-
yeah.
It's an important part of it, actually,
Yeah.
from our perspective.
Right, and from a zoning perspective and whatever land they have or don't have, their infrastructure. Whatever their vision is.
Okay, so I'll find out who else is planning and then I'll be of interest. Okay. And then number 6 is our master strategy plan. We met with Athens. They have some marching orders to find out what's important to them and the community and their boards. I'll be writing up some notes from the meeting. Our next steps is we will be hiring Delaware Engineering. We need some mapping, and they pretty much have it for Athens already. So where the infrastructure is, where it isn't, wetlands, things like that. So I'll be working with Renee on like another scoping plan for that. But
We're gonna do that before they've come back, before the Athens Gen people have come back with their conversations with the communities.
No, it'll be on like the next meetings.
Part of this is in preparation
Yeah,
to.
we should not be out in front of, from an optics point of view. If they have a master plan and they're moving toward it and we're kind of aligning with it, that's one thing.
Well, the master plan is part of Athens Gen agreement when we closed with them and we did.
Right,
pilot.
so, and they've changed owners about 9,000 times. So make sure that they have their master plan and they're moving toward a master plan, that we're with them. We're not informing. I'm just saying, what you said was, they're going to talk with the communities to find out. Right, yeah, right.
Well, Maggie, just to back up for a second, just to, like, what we discussed at the meeting, so we basically laid out this site that we / Athens Generated have.
Yeah.
And, we're starting a discussion of what we'd like to do with that property, or what can be done with it.
What can be done with it,
Exactly, so
right.
we.
Discussion on that, I think we can be very clear. They should have been that, we're asked to figure out what to do, the land, industrial pieces, that was having available. So right now, we are just doing a preliminary, data on it so that they have that available to start discussion. Planning board, chair lived there, Mike Brown. So, it started off, I think, ultimately very positive. We talked about a data center, we were pretty much direct of, that's one of the possible and highest, best uses of that property. And we discussed some of the peripheral of that. But then, I think, that's the next steps for that is, but we gotta do some mapping and look for clarity of what is there, what's useful.
All right. Again, should not be out in front.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on to park updates, Greene County is going to be opening up the visitor center July 3rd. I will be getting a
It's Thursday. It's
So our meeting just closed out. Are you still there, Tom?
Yep, I'm still here.
Sorry, the Zoom just, the computer decided to reboot.
Yeah, I can still see me, but that's it. No problem. Keep going.
Right, Paul?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so the, press release and the, invite will be coming out soon. So if the board would love to attend, we are a big part of the, construction and, opening of that visitor center. I was there yesterday. It's looking really good. It's looking good. It's a nice.
County website, take no credit for all, but you. Works fine. It's not what they want.
The last little bit of our responsibility, Paul finally got our easement from Home Depot.
Well, no, we don't have it yet. They are painful to deal with. We look like we look pretty good. So we don't have it yet.
We signed, Eric signed some of the papers today, so I'll flip those back to you.
Yeah, I'll need the originals with the TP. He's gonna mark it up, so just make sure we have a signature break on the document.
Okay, I'll take care of that when you're ready.
Yeah.
So that is for the digital sign of where the county wanted to place it.
No, it's for the whole area, the parking, the whole thing.
But there wasn't an easement that existed.
Correct.
And
There's an easement that existed for access. Then Stewart's kind of encroached out onto the property and we just squared that off. So it took a little while to convince the Home Depot folks that this was a nothing burger, considering that their sign is completely obscured by growth and they haven't been maintaining it, but I think we're there, hopefully.
Okay. So underneath 21 East also, Catskill Lodging, Hampton Inn, in your packet, the site plans are there and the drawing plans, so you'll see what it's gonna look like. They plan to break ground in September. So that'll be the next thing you can go out and put shovels in.
So April, do we want to have the board approve our conveyance of the of former Stewart's property, the tourism facility, to the county? I mean, yeah, I think you want to do that and then just authorize the chairman. So the resolution would be resolution authorizing the conveyance of the tourism center by the Greene County IDA to the county of Greene. With that would be resolution number 1, and resolution number 2 would be the execution and delivery of an amended and restated easement with Home Depot.
Okay.
So do you want me to repeat that so we can go, sorry, go a little fast?
Sure.
Okay, resolution number 1 will be an authorization to convey the Greene County Tourism Facility to the county of Greene.
Right, okay.
So someone's got to move that motion.
I'll move.
So second.
Resolution number 2 is the authorizing the Greene County IDA to execute and deliver an amended and restated easement with HD of Maryland / Home Depot for the parking lot and area adjacent to the Greene County Tourism Facility.
Okay. I'm thinking that you bring the resolution July 3rd. So instead of a ribbon, that it's inside. Okay. It's like a big check. Big check. I'm sure they will. It's July, day before July 4th, before fireworks. Should have, they'll get a firework tent. It's now in the price or the Walmart lot.
I think we got a press release with the it with the Kisaki Grass Creek Grassland Preserves Fund with respect to those species that they're finding.
Okay.
I think that's more an article with the Times Union or something about, you know, about IDAs, the work they're doing is improving the environment.
I will talk to them.
Awesome. Well, hopefully they need to say IDA. I don't know what the acronym stands for. I think it's a, you know, some new group.
Well, there will be a press release coming out that the county has done for the Stewart's building, so take it with a grain of salt. I am quoted in there, it's very minimal, but we gave kudos to Renee and Warren for their work on getting the building from Stewart's as a donation. So you'll see it.
And then Sean built those.
Yeah, yes. So, well, that's the other portion of it. So currently we have builders risk insurance and some insurance on the building. This conveys over to them. They'll get their own insurance on the building. Then I have been tracking all the invoices with Tommy Hoyt. I can submit for our reimbursement once the project closes out. I usually just do one because it's easier for the audit trail to do so just like we did for Kara with the pilot money. We paid it all out, then the county gave me ARPA money. So.
Should we invite the Hampton Inn people to the opening?
Okay. I can vote one.
There'll be legislators there, just.
Okay. I'll make a note.
They may show, but.
Not just my I'll tell you. Once I saw the draft yesterday, so once I get the official invite, I'll send it out to everybody. Okay. Moving on. Green Business Park, these are just quick, the Y lot. So we met with a potential housing developer. And it's John Joseph with the hotel developer. We met with him. I have shown at the last meeting kind of a mock layout, but we're working on making sure the wetlands are cleaned up. We're not going to disturb anything. We're just going to bring in a road to where potential housing could be. We are past the submission for certain funding from the state for this year. So this is going to be like possibly a next year project, but we're going to make sure that all our permits and things are in place to get the land shovel ready. We have discussed as a board what kind of benefits we could provide. So like a low lease ground lease for the amount of the property. Right now we're whole on that park, all the money that we put into the park to get it shovel ready. So maybe anything that we spend out, that's what we would charge for the land. So I'm talking to Renee about different scenarios of how we can offer the housing developers benefits and be a partner with them for that. So the housing developer, Keith, has a lot of experience. I'm trying to get a resume so I can send that out to the board. But what we'd like to do, and we can I'll ask Paul to draft up something for the next meeting, is to do some kind of formal, like a joint agreement for that parcel, so that we have not an option, but we have an agreement that we're working towards a goal of having housing on that parcel.
So why would we need that when we don't even have the permits? And why, well, I understand that that developer has interest. Have we widely, like, we're gonna.
You're like an RFP,
Well, and we don't know what the benefits are.
We basically put like some people in.
Right, with this group.
But we don't know what the benefits are that we're offering. I think that to me, it's a cart and a horse thing. If we knew, because what we might do with that person or that entity may not be the same. Their experience is great. What are they bringing beyond experience to the table to leverage? So I just think that we might want to know what our benefits are before, what we would consider.
I think it's just that history is that for a developer to start to get their feet in the water, I think they might want something of like if we spend some money, if it's some research to get down the road, we're gonna be able to.
Right, I mean, that's what they do, right? They're wildcats and they know what credits are out there, they know what they can pull down, they know financing that they can leverage, but I mean, I know we've talked about it a lot, but I think I'd rather understand what it is we think. The word you used was partnership, right? So, you know, whether it's land at cost and they're just buying it outright, whether they would need a mortgage tax sort of thing, whether they're thinking a sales tax thing, you know, and because we talked about this all before, like how can one do it without, you know, what we're doing is leasing the land, right? As opposed to scenarios where it may be far better for them to purchase the land. I'm just making it up, but yeah.
Would we also, sort of be able to, provide recommendations or influence on whether they include, community center or retail for XYZ or.
The draft, this is their initial engineering, so we have a proposed community building, like a grass play area, and then these will be the apartments and, you know, additional parking. It would come in on Vermillion Road. But what we are hoping to work with, the Paxaki comprehensive plan, one of the things we might change is, this is an industrial zone, this is commercial zone, so the zoning, so they can, you know, utilize more of our, 10 acres.
Okay, so with that, then you'd make this, commercial or industrial, commercial or residential or, right?
It's choose
Residential. Yeah,
So this is the initial map that they came up with based on, you know, about 600 feet.
and so the community building could be a daycare or is it strictly a?
It's a community building. I mean, we're not putting any retail in that area, but if we can expand it back here, then yes, we might be able to do some more retail up front. Just right now, there's 20 acres neighboring us that has not built out yet,
Right.
so.
So actually, specific to the housing developments and tenants.
Or it's open to the community.
Big conflicts, it's a public.
Right.
I'll have to find out.
Yeah, so. The community building for progressive.
Oh, well, that's an important distinction, because, yeah, community applies to me that is,
Yeah, I think it should evolve. Rolling curves, files.
yeah,
You know, it's a marginal. Well, then the party plan then needs to them what they're getting.
yeah, because it's a lot of square feet, it's 4,000 square feet, so, I mean, that's a lot of space for just,
It's a lot of space to generate that.
exactly, that makes something to be. Right, yeah, or,
And there really may not be, demand for it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the other,
or a small one like the Athens Community Center, something like that. It's small here in Kicksaki, could be a chain,
Yeah.
right?
And there, you know, yes, we would have something, but since it's
That would be important, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
that's the bylaw. Also in the Green Business Park, the 26 acre parcel, we've talked about with, Build of Nature, Economy Cocoon, they are the straw, straw panels, so they are actually moving forward with some, grant applications, things like that going into the state, so they are still interested in our 26 acres, we met with them again.
They have a nice started grant, they had $50,000 nice started grant, so then they're now for phase one, so they're now in the phase two application for research grant, so they have some momentum behind them.
But I will keep you updated if that progresses, if an application comes in, et cetera. So, the signage should be going in soon for the other park. That would include, some of the, tenants' names on the sign. We also put in some directional signage down Vermillion Lane for Society and Hunter Motor Coach, so you know they're back there now. That's another, cul-de-sac or end of the road kind of thing where Green Land Trust is gonna start working on another walking path behind Lynn Stanley building, the Save a Lot building. I talked with, emails with Lynn Stanley yesterday, Adam Lynn Stanley, the owner. They have another walkthrough with a company interested in the building. But I also got a lead from the New York State EDC on, batteries. And they have enough electricity and power over there that it might be a good fit. So we're gonna submit that by, June 27th as a, possible building for them. Everything fits there.
Did the battery business generate any jobs?
150 jobs.
Battery storage, battery.
Battery storage, making batteries.
Batteries?
Yeah. So.
Talking about looking at financial stuff and making battery, consider we can't get rid of them either. Just thinking, just picking on the walking pads of the housing and.
Or done dealing with the old.
Yeah.
I can send you out the scope.
They need cold storage or they don't need cold storage.
So might be another little bit of a retrofit. So that building is 330,000 square feet. This company is looking for 150 to 200,000 square feet. The loading docks are great, the ceiling height is good, and the amount of electricity being provided to the building works, so. This old Savings building.
Only up to. You want this to go for, that's the.
They have been working on the interior, I have not been in it recently, but if you go by, the outside is,
Company's name.
you know, it's got a state, it's called Project Cherry.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ever ready?
Yeah.
Sure, that's someone. They can be a little round.
Yeah. Not exactly sure if it's those batteries or the components for battery storage, but I can find out more information maybe.
April, I don't think you need me anymore, do you, or you, I gotta run.
We're good, we're just
Okay.
going over.
Thank you. See you guys, see you, bye-bye. Hey, good morning. How you doing? What do you mean, on them or about us? I don't think so. Well, like, how many? Yeah, yeah, what's your name? That's them, right? I just want to stay away from those idiots. Okay. Yeah, okay, 7:33 this morning, okay, so I think. That's relative to them, a wrong turn entity should be who's on the mortgage, yeah, that's up to them. And that's between title, that has nothing to do with us, okay, so. That has not, yeah, and I've been telling her, she's got to do an assignment of the contract to the Turn Hoffler entity, which is her buyer. So, what I need you to sign is that holdover agreement that I sent that to you, you signed that. If you could just, get that done. And then I'll try to finalize the closing statement today, and then I think we'll be in pretty good shape. I've asked for the detail on the breakout of the bills. Then we'll go from there, okay? All right, I think that is it, on the deed, I'll just look back to the deed. I think I have to change one thing. We're good. I think we're good. Oh, then you gotta sign the, The second amendment, she sent that to us. Hold on. So I just need PDFs of these, and then I can sign it. All right, so she's, just want you out of this goddamn thing. It's just the worst. These people are just the absolute, just the absolute worst. Done with these assholes. Okay. That's sent. Let's see what we. They're just some of the worst people I've ever met. Oh God. I mean, yeah, I stay the fuck away from it. Okay, so she signed that. Okay, and then the assignment that should be done. So. Okay. Get away from these guys. That's all I can say to you. Should move that out there. So, um, no, just the best thing you can do is just stay away from these people. I mean, and I think once we get that set, we can kind of talk about the 1031. I mean, we'll just continue the engagement later on if you need me in the real estate, but I think we're gonna need someone because it's a little tricky. All right. Yeah, okay, here we go. So if you sign what I sent you, the holdover agreement, and then the attached, this is the second amendment. And I'm sending that to you. Just PDF them right back to me. We're good to go. Yeah, fine. All right, and I'm gonna wipe out manager on the deed. Okay, and I'll just put in authorized rep. Sign the TP and the RPA. I need your federal ID. No, just cross it out, or you know what, just leave it back and I'll attest to both. I'll just, what is the social security number for? I got it. I got it. Yep, I got it. I got it. Yeah. 36. State 6. Sign. I'm signing it. TP, those things sign. Um, sign it. Putting the operating agreement since from the date 6/1/2025. That. Right, I think we're getting there. You know what I'm saying, bro? It is seeming like that's gonna be fine. Yeah. I'm gonna destroy the operating consent. You saw it. We're good to go. Okay, coming shortly. So what is she sending us? Okay, fine. Tell her she's got to sign this document. And a general assignment. Yeah, I want it down. I'll just send her. Yeah. No, it's okay, just send it to me or deputize me to sign the TP and the RP on behalf of the buyer, and we can save you the FedEx fee. Let's put it that way. Please sign the following. Yeah, okay, so this please sign the attached. And send me on a PDF. Okay. Perfect, I got yours. Here's the whole, okay. All right, we're getting there. So, hold over. Second. Okay, fine. I have no idea what's, see, because these taxes are so fucked up. I have no idea what's in some of the numbers, but we'll get some of them, you know, we're gonna get a chunk of the money back, so this will be done. So just timing. Hyman. So that's fine. Alan Hyman. He's the guy who I think Cernick, you hired him to do your tax protest. So it's that way. Yeah, that's per the court order. It's signed. So that's they can't fool around with that. All right. Yeah, yeah, we'll have to reprorate it. Yeah, exactly. So that's good. All right. Let me send this to her. Okay. Just, I'll get her on the here's the holdover agreement. I'll send it to you, Scott. Let's see if we can get her on the phone number. Here's the records. Amendment. Get her on. Yeah, we'll get her right on the phone. Hold on just. Hi, good morning. Hold on, I got Scott on the phone. Hey, Scott, say hello to Kristen. Hi, I have that one on the phone. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. We have some pretty stupid upstate New York people. So let's keep going with that. All right, so Kristen, if you deputize me on an email, I'll sign the forms that I have. Um, okay, and you can do either one. It's just gotta be the 5217 has to be on 8.5 by 14 paper. Yeah. Yeah, just actually, yeah, either way, just print it and send it to me, and then I'll just attach the two, and I'll run it down to Bob today. Okay? And then I'll just I'll scroll over it. Yeah, I'll scroll over it. I sent you the general assignment, so that has to be signed. And I got Scott's signature, so we're good to go. And then we can just finish up this closing statement. So whatever final numbers you need, you can get to me, but I kind of gave you, I kind of did it for you, so at least they'll have a pretty good shot at it. Okay. Yeah. I, I don't know who's saying that. Who is they? Who is the county? No, she hasn't said anything other than, uh, New York taxes are paid in advance. That is okay, so like the village tax is due now. It's a lien on the property. It has to be paid by 6/30, so we're doing that. Okay, Scott has not paid the January 26 taxes or 25 taxes. They come, and they're a lien now, they're unpaid, so we have to pay that. And Scott hasn't paid the September school, so they all run off of the 24 roll. So the way it's being done is correct. Now, the next bill that you'll receive, okay, and hopefully it will be a corrected bill, so it will be substantially lower because the order will be processed. If they send you a bill with the 6 million of assessment on the 11 parcels, you send it back or you tell me to do it, and I'll tell them to get me a corrected bill using these numbers. Okay, so that will be greatly reduced. So that the next bill that's due and owing is one that's due on September 30th. It's issued September 1st and it's due and owing September 30th, but that runs from July 1st to June 30th of next year. That's not a lien right now. So that's why it's not being paid. But we have to pay all the arrearage up. See, she doesn't know what she's talking about. She's not a real estate lawyer. It's not being paid because we're closing before July 1st. Okay, so that's why it's not being collected. That will come to you in September 1st, but it's got to be based on the, $1,000,004 number versus the $6 million number on the 11 parcels. So that's, you're getting the benefit of that. That's how that's going to work. That's the village bill, and that's due and payable. So Scott owes 11,000 of that because he's got 19 days of it. You have to pay the 346 now because it's paid in advance. It's a lien on the property. So now my error in the statement that I had before is I was making you pay your share of it, but I wasn't providing for the payment of the bill, which is now shown on the statement. So it's right the way it is. All right. Yeah, no, it's not easy. New York is not easy, but that's the way it is. But the good thing is this, the September bill you're gonna get is gonna be significantly lower, like the school tax bill that you should be getting in September should be based on 1,262,000, and that should be, I'm just calculating it out right now. And that's the benefit of what we did with those assholes. That bill will be the biggest, that will be 29,000 of that. So, again, the big bill will be, the county, the Village of Ilion bill in June 1 of 2026. No, because we missed, because we missed the March 1st date. It will be the September 1 bill of 2026. So you've got to make sure that in your IDA documents, and these people are so fucking stupid, that it's effective for the 26 assessment roll. You got to make sure that's done because they don't know what they're doing. So whatever your deal is, if you have 5 years of no taxes, that should be effective for the 2026 assessment roll. And then, so the 5 years would be counted 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. And then the first deed. If you're clear, because we didn't get it done, but you've got to make sure to protect yourself because these guys will fuck it up. They're incompetent. They don't understand the real property tax system. It's the 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30 assessment rolls. Okay, so you just drill that into your head, okay? Because they will cheat from you, they will steal from you, they're inadvertently incompetent. Okay. Yeah, don't trust these people, Okay, great. All right, no, I'm good. I'll sign, just send me back a PDF of that. I'll sign it. Or I can attach it and I'll run it down to Bob later today. So that way he'll have what he needs and we'll get on with this, okay? Yeah, no, we appreciate, I mean, Scott's been great. We don't want to screw you. That's just, hey, Kristen, this is New York State. There, stop. I will send you a case. It's called AG Properties. This guy has gotten, he bought the IBM plant in Kingston. He's a despicable human being, okay? He by himself, he's a despicable human being. But I tried a case for him. It's the best case I've ever tried in my life. I win, or I lose. I get the shit beat out of me by some incompetent judge, political hack. I take myself out of the dust bowl, I appeal it, and I get it reversed. But this is 20 years of this fucking community suing and taxing this piece of shit property. It's an environmental wasteland, as if IBM was there. They drove the guy right out. Yeah, I am so sick and tired of it. I'll send it to you guys. I mean, yeah, so.